Hey everyone, so I've made this video to take you through some of the trickier questions that you will see in the codebreaker activity for today. So the first questions that you'll see that you'll spot that we haven't quite done before is ones where it's a whole number, either plus or minus a fraction. Now there are a few ways in which you can do this, so I've got a couple of questions up the top there. And the first one, I could say that 2 plus a quarter, I could just write that down straight away as 2 1/4. Okay, but there is a process that we can follow as well, where we've got to actually add these together, change the denominators and so on. So I'll talk you through the process if you can't just spot that 2 1/4 straight away. So when we have any whole number of 2, say, and we want to add or subtract it or multiply it or divide it using a fraction, we can change 2 into 2 over 1 to make it a fraction. Then we've got to add on the 1 over 4 as well. Now, we can't add these fractions till we make them have the same denominator. So just like before, we will make our common denominator 4 times the first fraction by 4 to get 4 on the bottom. Now 4 is already on the bottom of that one there, so just timesing that by 1. Oh, and that number there is not 4, that should be 8. That one's still a 1 on the top, and then we have 9 over 4. So we can change that to a mixed number. 4 goes into 9 twice, with a remainder of 1 over 4. So you can see that it matches up to the 2 1/4 I was talking about earlier. Now, 3 take away 7 over 8, I will end up with, think of 1 take away 7 over 8, I'd end up with 1 over 8. That would be what was left. So it's now 3 take away 7 over 8, so it should be 2 and 1/8 that I'm going to get. But again, if you can't spot that straight away, just make your number of 3 as 3 over 1, and then perform your fractions calculations. So make your common denominator times the first fraction by 8 to get 24 over 8, times the second fraction by the 1, so that just stays as 7 over 8. 24 take away 7 will give us 17. 8 goes into 17 twice with a remainder of 1 over 8. Okay, so that's the 2 and an 8 that I was talking about. Lastly, you might see one at the end of your questions, we've got 3 fractions to add together. So what I would do in this case is to times all 3 of those numbers together. So timesing all 3 of them will give me a number that all 3 of them can divide into. 2 times 3 times 4 will give me 24. Okay. Or I could think of a number, say, what number can they all be divided into? So 2, 3 and 4, well 2 and 3 can be divided into 6, but that won't count for 4. So in this case we can actually use 12 as our common denominator for each of them. Times the first fraction then by 6, so that will be 6 over 12, times the second fraction by 4, so 8 over 12, and times the third fraction by 3, so 3 over 12. Once we've got those numbers then, we can add them all together. So 6 plus 8 is 14, plus the 3 gives us 17, and we will then get, as a mixed number, 1 and 5 over 12. Okay, so when you come to do ones with 3 fractions, it was a bit trickier to find that common denominator. You need to find a number that they can all divide into. Okay, so you now have everything that you should need to get on with the codebreaker activity. Please let me know if you've got any questions as you go through that. Okay.